Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, where we do NFL offseason previews and predictions. We have 2 more to go, so this is 31 out of 32, and this time we'll be doing the Tennessee Titans. So we go over free agents to be, team needs, franchise tag candidate, trade candidate, release candidate, extension candidate, best draft fit, best free agent fit, and a bold prediction for every team. And now up, as I mentioned earlier, the Tennessee Titans. So they have a lot of free agents to be. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Aaron Brewer, Chris Hubbard, Trayvon Wesco, Denico Autry, Kyle Peko, Jack Gibbons, who I think is not restricted, but it's exclusive rights. There we go. That's the phrase. Azeez Al-Shaair, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Kayvon Wallace, Kristen Fulton, Nick Folk, Morgan Cox, he's the long snapper, and kick returner Chris Moore. They have a ton of needs on this team. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive tackle, center, defensive end, defensive tackle, inside linebacker, cornerback, safety, kicker. So it's a lot. And I mean a lot. Franchise tag candidate, Derrick Henry. He's the face of the franchise, and he was an MVP candidate several years ago. Maybe they do move on, but I think that they will franchise tag him to see how that works out. And I do not see them putting the tag on anybody else. Like, what would they put on Sean Murphy-Bunting over him or Kristen Fulton? No. They're going to tag Derrick Henry. Trade candidate, Malik Willis, former second-round pick. It's funny because they drafted him and then they drafted Will Levis. Or no, he was a third-round pick, and then they drafted Will Levis the next year. Will Levis actually looked pretty good at times last season. So that opens the door for Malik Willis trade to a team that can use a backup quarterback that's young, like San Francisco or Seattle. If Seattle doesn't draft a quarterback, maybe the Jets that could use like a quarterback of the future kind of deal, or the Falcons, or it could be anybody, New Orleans, because they lose Jameis. But I think Malik Willis could be had in the trade, absolutely. Other trade candidates on this team, a lot of veterans. Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons, DeAndre Hopkins. So, yeah, a lot of veterans, I think, because this is a team that's obviously in transition, but I do think that they might keep Derrick Henry around. And he's obviously a trade candidate, too, because what if they tag him and trade him? I've seen tag and trades before. Release candidate, DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know what the market's going to look like for Hopkins. Arizona had to cut him. Tennessee signed him. So I could see him being cut again and him going to a team that... I mean, can you see him going to his old team, the Texans, with C.J. Stroud? That would be really funny if he were to go there. I could see him going to a team that's ready to win now. Like, I could see him going to the Jets. I could see him going to Buffalo. I could see him going to Kansas City. I could see him going to Baltimore. A lot of AFC teams, I think, could use his services. Jacksonville to replace Calvin Ridley, maybe. So DeAndre Hopkins absolutely has options. Other release candidates, Daniel Brunskill, who was a free agent signing, Arden Key, and then some of the other guys I brought up earlier. But I feel like those guys are more trade than cut candidates. Extension candidate. This was the hardest one to figure out of any team. I know Seattle's was hard, but this was harder. I went with Dylan Radness. He's their right tackle. But I think that they want to also draft a tackle, but maybe they put Radnez or whoever they draft potentially at a different spot. And then maybe they move Radnez to one side and then they draft somebody for the other. So we'll see. I put Radnez down for this. And he was the only, like I said, he was the only one that I could come up with. Caleb Farley's always hurt. He's probably in a make or break situation next season. So best draft fit, I went with Olumuyiwa Fashanu, the tackle out of Penn State. He's just amazing. He does everything well. You could argue Joe Alt's a good fit too. But Fashanu is every bit as a safe bet as Joe Alt. He really is. And he's really good. And he just fit right in there. And you build around him and Skoronski on that line in Tennessee. So like I said, Joe Alt's a good fit. Even the receivers are a good fit. Malik Neighbors, Romeo Dunze. I think some other good fits on Tennessee are Jerzon Newton, Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean, Braylon Trice, I think is a good fit. Talk about potential second-round guys. Lai McConkey, Gary Cooper, Chop Robinson, Robin Wilson, Jatavion Sanders would be a good fit. You know who else would be a good fit for Tennessee? Brock Bowers. Be a really, really nice weapon for Will Levis. Just throwing that one out there. Say they trade back for some reason, or they take somebody like Bowers or somebody we're not expecting at 7, or in a move back situation, Jordan Morgan, Tyler Guyton, Graham Barton. Maybe they lose Derrick Henry. Maybe it's Jonathan Brooks. That could be a good fit for them. Tyler Newman. But yeah, they have a ton of options, Tennessee, for draft. Free agency. Lloyd Cushenberry. Aaron Brewer's a free agent. Cushenberry, former Bronco. He's 57th on Pro Football Focus's free agent list. Change of scenery guy. I could see that one for Tennessee. Other decent fits. Andrew Van Ginkel. I could see Darnell Mooney being there. Jermaine Ellimore as like the veteran guy. Denico Autry's a good free agent that Tennessee should, in theory, bring back. Ezra Cleveland. But yeah, they have a lot of good free agents. Taylor Tart and Al Shaher. But yeah, a ton of good free agents. I didn't realize how many they have inside the top 100. I think Tyler Boyd would be an interesting fit. Even Aaron Brewer's in their top 100. And was solid this past year, too. Josie Jewell, I feel like, would be a good fit. Blake Cashman, Jordan Fuller. But yeah, there's a lot of guys that would fit on Tennessee. And like I said, they are facing some turnover. So my bold prediction for Tennessee is that they sign multiple former first-round picks that need changes of scenery. I think Jordan Brooks is going to be one of them. That makes sense. I do think he's a fit with the Bucs as well, but I think he's going to sign with Tennessee. That would be my guess. And the other one, will it be Mekhi Becton? That'd be something. But I should have said former first-round picks in this decade. So that would, in theory, make sense. Mekhi Becton and Jordan Brooks. I know Cushenberry was not a first, although I do like that fit. So we'll see who they sign. But yeah, I think they signed multiple former first rounders. Maybe Devin White, but he was drafted last decade, which is crazy to think about. But that would also make sense. But I would say it's Jordan Brooks and Mekhi Becton. And Becton as like a depth piece or something. Actually, no, Becton really wouldn't make sense there. But I know Jordan Brooks makes sense there. And I'm trying to think of who else would make sense there. Jonah Williams, but again, maybe as like a backup, because I think they want to draft a tackle. I don't think it's going to be Patrick Queen. But yeah, McKinney was a second-round pick from the Giants. But yeah, we'll see. But I know Jordan Brooks is definitely going to be one of them. Maybe it is Becton. Who knows? All right, so odds. They have among the longest odds to win the Super Bowl, let alone represent the AFC. They're 130 to 1. That is shorter odds than the Giants for some reason. I don't know why that's the case. They should be where the Giants and the Commanders are. And I think the Winglet should be around there as well. And then to win the AFC, they are 65 to 1, just behind Denver. What I saw Will Levis 100 to 1 for MVP, which is absurd. Where's Derrick Henry? He's probably has a long number, 300 to 1. He has the same number as Cooper Kupp and Kenny Pickett and Saquon and Kyron Williams and Devontae Adams and Aaron Donald and Devin Achane and like people like that. Oh, there are season awards out there other than MVP. So it's Henry for Offensive Player of the Year. Here's like guessing all the numbers on previous shows. He's 75 to 1. That's crazy. I think he should be 50. That actually has some value. Jeffrey Simmons Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's probably like 60 or 70 to 1. Ooh, longer odds than that. 100. I would bet that. Coach of the Year, Brian Callahan is 16 to 1. I think that's a little short, although Dayball was that short, obviously, and he ended up winning it in his first year. I think Callahan should be more like 30 to 1, just for the case of new coach alone. Rookies of the Year are not up yet. We're not going to go there at the Titans because we don't know where they're going. We're probably thinking like tackle for first rounder. And then win total, I would say they're going to be among the lower ones. I think they're going to be like 5. I really think they're going to have a low win total. And a lot of people will probably bet they're under because of how good the rest of their division is. And then we also have their division. They don't have divisions out yet, which is crazy. So if I had to guess their division odds, I think they're going to be like potentially 10 to 1. I really do. Because of how good that division is. And they're obviously not a Bill Belichick team because they just hired a coach in Brian Callahan. Next up is the Washington Commanders, which is going to be the final of 32 shows for this special.